The S&P 500 just had its second quarter in a row of double-digit returns, the first time it's done that in 12 years. Nvidia almost doubled, and a lot more craziness happened in Q1. Let's take a quick deep dive into how the market performed during Q1 of 2024. Looking at the major indexes, you can see the S&P 500 was leading the way, kind of getting away from the tech rally, which has maybe been leading over the last couple of years. But the Nasdaq 100 really wasn't far behind at 9.1%. Can't really say the same thing about the Dow Jones, but still a very solid Q1 when we look at in the grand scheme of things, up 5.6%. Taking a look at the heat map, there are a couple of names that stand out to me, but you can pause the video and kind of dig around. I always find this thing interesting. Nvidia, obviously, up 82.5%, a fantastic year, almost doubling already, and we're only 3 months into it. But Facebook, Meta, Eli Lilly, even a GE standing out to me on the upside. And then when I look at those big red boxes, obviously Tesla and Boeing standing out with some downside, and Apple down 10.9%. The big red box, as an Apple shareholder, maybe we could see that turning around would be nice. But let's dig into the worst and best performers from each of the major indexes. Looking at the S&P 500, we have a new entrant taking the crown here with Super Micro up 255%, which is, I know we've all been watching this rally with some amazement. I've been watching it from the sidelines, but it's been a very interesting move, and it's enough to unseat Nvidia from the top spot. Even at 82.5% isn't enough to be the top performer in the S&P 500. There's a couple other interesting names up here with a Micron, with a Facebook, and Eli Lilly, and even some older names like a GE and a Disney performing pretty strong, which maybe you wouldn't expect to be up here. Looking over at the worst performers of this index now, let me know if you like this graphic. It's kind of flipping the other one. I'm a fan of it. But we have Tesla rounding out the bottom of this index down 29.3%. We also have a Lulu and a Pinduoduo and Adobe and a few other names. The Walgreens Boots Alliance. The Boots Alliance has been struggling this year, but some interesting names on the downside. I'll be watching these ones to see if they continue the underperformance during the year. Maybe one or two of them pick it up to the upside. Definitely ones to keep an eye on. Looking over at the best performing NASDAQ 100 stocks, no Supermicro in this index, so Nvidia leading the way. A couple other interesting names in here that weren't in the last one. We have an ASML, an Applied Materials, a CrowdStrike, a lot of semiconductor names pulling into the NASDAQ 100, probably the best performing index so far this year, if I had to guess, or a sector, shall I say. But yeah, a lot of semiconductor names up here with Nvidia leading the way with that 82.5% return, almost doubling so far this year in just 3 months, which is pretty crazy. Looking over at the worst performers of the index, we have Tesla here again. Hopefully, it can turn around as a Tesla shareholder, but it's definitely going to be a difficult year and has been so far. But there's also Boeing on this name, which we know what's been happening with Boeing. We don't have to talk too deep into that one, but definitely been a downwards year, down 26%, and they have the headlines to prove it. We also have Warner Bros. Discovery and Paramount on here. So some of those kind of streaming services are struggling for sure, and content houses definitely wants to keep an eye on. Paramount has been trying to sell itself for a while now. I've been seeing a bunch of headlines, so maybe they get that done in Q2, and this kind of negative performance starts to turn around for them. Now looking over at how the largest stocks performed so far this year, look at that year-to-date column all the way on the right, and you're only going to see three red names on there. It's the Apple, it's the Tesla, and then the United Health, which we haven't really covered. But besides that, the majority of the names up here have double-digit returns outperforming the indexes. Google and Visa are the ones really standing out with single-digit returns, but besides that, everyone has double-digit returns in front of all of the indexes. So these mega cap names, although the market rally has continued to broaden out, these mega cap names are definitely still leading the way. Standing out to me on this one, we have a Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett's kind of older and more established insurance type company, has been performing really well this year, even despite Apple being down 10.9%, and we know he owns a lot of Apple. That one's up around 17, 18% so far this year, outperforming the index, and some pretty good return for him. He's actually getting close to $1 trillion market cap. So we'll see if he can pass that milestone some point this year. Besides that, we have Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly standing out. The weight loss drugs are performing very well this year. Strong categories, two of the big names in the top 20. And then also standing out to me, I'm looking at this Broadcom up 18.7%, Amazon up 18.7%. A lot of different names performing really well this year. So a lot to keep an eye on. I appreciate you guys for watching this video. If you're still here, make sure you leave a like, drop a comment down below if you guys want to see me posting more of these type of videos, and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate all of you, and I will see you guys later.